to the liquor store just on the corner there.
Yeah.
And like, for a 6-pack, it's like $16 for like the Wild Rose beers and stuff like that, or the Village stuff. I'm like, why would that's? I can get 15 beers for like $4 more.
Yeah. Oh man.
The thing is when I did go to the liquor store just on the corner there, is it's actually harder to get like nicer beers. They only have like Wild Rose and Village. I was like, I'm in the mood for like something, not trash.
Yeah.
I don't want just like PBR or Lucky or whatever. So I went there and I was like, they literally only have trash beers here. Like, they have your Canadian Coors,
your big...
Pilsner, and then like Lucky PBR, and then just like the cheap beers. And I'm like, but I want something nice.
I'm sorry for doing that to you.
What? I know you wrecked me. I so much more appreciate craft beers now. Like, I love going to the breweries. Like, I just did a podcast with Graham Moseman.
Oh, really?
From X99.
That's pretty cool.
We did it on the Saturday, and we just met at Prairie Dog Brewing.
Oh, wicked.
So I just brought my little portable recording device, and I just, set it up at the table, and, we just did a fucking podcast there. But, I love going to these places, then trying the different beers, and, oh, my God, I'm just so ruined.
And it sucks, too.
Yeah.
There's so many places, I did that in the States, and I'm just I'm never going to have this again, and it makes me kind of sad. But, there's so many breweries in Calgary that, God...
Yeah.
So many.
Oh, God, just the Barley Belt or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. They're actually doing what's it called? The On Tap or something. There's a festival going on at all these breweries.
Yeah.
This weekend. I think it's on the Saturday. But it's just a bunch of different bands. They're just playing at all these different
breweries.
So basically they just have bands and all that. There's some at Patty's, there's some at Annex Ale Project.
Oh, nice.
Cabin Brewing, and they all just have different bands playing, which is kind of neat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I might check that out.
Yeah, no, I was actually thinking about it because I think that would be cheap too, probably. I don't know, but...
Yeah, well, I would guess how they would
unless it's a wristband type thing, or...
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's just to draw people into the breweries. Because, all those places are pretty small. I don't see...
How they could fit so many, especially... I mean, Cabin was... Yeah, still pretty small.
Yeah.
Trying to think of, the largest brewery we went to was probably Prairie Dog.
Oh, yeah. Prairie Dog could definitely fit a show in there, but...
Oh, yeah.
It's because it's also a kitchen, right? So,
yeah. Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, actually.
There's freaking delicious.
Have you had the mac and cheese there?
No.
Oh my God.
I think we just had it as a side, didn't we? No, we
didn't. Yeah, see, I've gone back a couple times. But so I've been there 3 times now. But the mac and cheese, so me, Jordy, and Brendan, we all went for just our Wednesday night one time.
Yeah.
So we met there, and the mac and cheese with brisket, it was just oh my God, this is amazing.
That's so unfortunate that I'm going to have to go back there now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. And also a cool thing that they do at a lot of these breweries, at least at the ones that serve food, are we pay our wait staff fairly, so don't feel like you need to tip. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah. It's we actually pay them a living wage, so they don't need tips. But if you feel like you want to tip them, go right ahead.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Because, jeez.
I never understood that whole, waitresses get paid less than minimum wage because they get tips.
Yeah. That makes no sense. You should at least still have to pay the minimum wage, and then tips should be included on their thing.
I always say, it's well, then restaurants can't afford that.
What do you mean they can't?
Smaller restaurants can't afford to pay their staff minimum wage.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are they a business?
Yeah, exactly. You should have a business model that operates around paying your employees minimum wage at least.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So, I like seeing that, the we pay our staff fairly, so don't feel the need to tip them. But it just brings tipping back to what it's supposed to be. It's
not a mandatory thing. It's if your service was great, then you tip.
You tip, yeah.
It wasn't I barely saw this waitress, but if I don't tip, I'm going to be just this asshole.
Yeah, you feel bad because they're staring at you as you're paying. And I'm like, fuck.
and that's the whole thing to it. Tipping used to be semi-anonymous.
Yeah.
In the sense of they'd be like, oh, the machine's over here, and then their computer would be here, your machine would be here, and then you'd...
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's like, here, let me stand over you and...
Yeah.
What you putting in there?
What number are you going to put in there? I even feel bad, like, I'll get subpar to shitty service, and I'll still give, like, I give 10% instead of 15. Like,
you're braver than I am. Still, like, I'll be like, 15 is now the low, which sucks, because it's like, Jesus.
Yeah, why am I paying 15% extra on my bill? Yeah.
Because your boss can't pay you. It sucks. Yeah. It's a weird one.
Yeah. And, like, that's the thing. You do go to Prairie Dog, and the food's a little bit more expensive. Like, it's all between $15 to $20 for an entree. Actually, $15 to $25 for an entree. Yeah. But it's just good because you know exactly what you're spending right up front. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Which I appreciate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or, like, they'll sometimes hand you the machine, and you only have the 3 options of, like, 15, 18, or 20.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I don't want any of this. At least have an other, like...
Yeah.
Excuse me, what do I do if I don't want to tip you? Can I skip this step?
Skip this part? Just, like, is it mandatory?
I thought your service was very subpar at best.
Yeah, and then, like, what is that? It's like, like participation badges and stuff like that, like participation medals. It's like you're just giving people money for mediocre work.
Exactly. We're creating a society of entitled assholes.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, like, yeah, a waitress can go into a job and be like, I can do the bare minimum and still make, $60 a day in tips.
Yeah, still get a 15% tip probably from most of the people who walk in
there. Because no one's going to pay me less than 15%, especially on, like, cards.
Yeah.
Cash might be one thing. They're like, I only have this.
Yeah.
You can have no change or whatever. And be like, that, sure. But, yeah, like with cards, it's like you really have nothing but 15 or less or more.
Yeah.
Unless they give you the option to type it in.
Exactly.
But then if you just put in like a 9... Yeah. It's like, you're an asshole. Yeah, there's going to be like a big fireworks to end this off, so.
Is there?
I brought fireworks.
Did you?
No.
It's like, are you serious right now? Because that would be tight.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, it would be.
Although, like, I probably could have, considering how many fireworks places we passed.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah. For some reason, Americans love their fireworks.
Even Canadians. Just anywhere east of, I think it was Manitoba. Huh. As soon as we got into Ontario, we're in Kenora, Ontario.
Yeah.
And at the Canadian Tire, they were just selling these big-ass boxes, like $300 worth of fireworks.
Are fireworks just, like, not legal in Alberta or something? Or do we just not like fireworks as much as everybody else?
That's the weird thing is I don't know.
I've never seen fireworks in any store ever. So
no.
I just assume they're illegal here.
Yeah. Well, because I was in Saskatoon that would do those block parties. Mm-hmm. And then they'd have fireworks because I thought that the neighbor, Terry, sold them at that.
Yeah, Bizarre and Novelty.
Yeah.
Like, I never got the name of that store until I was much older.
Until I was an adult.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, okay, that's a interesting name for a store. Bizarre but people launch fireworks all the time around here, like on Canada Day and shit. Not all the time, but, on select occasions.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're legal, but...
No, and that's the thing. But again, it's like once you set them off, unless you're doing like a whole array of fireworks, who's gonna...
Yeah, who's gonna...
Unless you have like a nosy neighbor who's just like watching you the whole time and going like, these assholes.
They have fireworks. Come get them.
Get them. Now.
They're having fun.
I hate fun.
There are some people who are like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're loud. I mean, like, no doubt about that. Especially if someone's like setting it off right above your house. That would be garbage.
Or I guess late into the night. But
yeah.
A couple bang. I'm a deep sleeper though, so I look at things differently in terms of that at least. So
you also have on your fridge a pair of clogs.
I do.
Yeah. Who gave you those?
I don't remember.
I didn't give you those, did I?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I think that they were left over from one of my old roommates.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Because we got those in Edam.
Oh.
In the Netherlands.
Nice.
Yeah.
Clogs. Did you see a lot of clogs when you were over there? Do people actually wear clogs?
Good question. I mean, I technically saw a lot of clogs because we were in a place that made clogs, a cloggery, if you will.
Yeah.
That's probably not the actual name.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were making clogs there, and that's where we bought those tiny little clogs.
Yeah. You didn't get an actual pair of clogs?
No, they're large.
Yeah. Also, they seem very impractical. They're wooden shoes.
Apparently, they're super comfy.
I don't believe it.
I didn't either. And then people bought them, and they're like, I would wear these all the times if they didn't make the most heinous sounds walking anywhere.
I don't believe those people. I believe that it's
I think
like...
it was like a fake thing. They're just
believe,
like, I regret buying the $60 clogs, and now I'm going to hype myself up.
Yeah. I'm going to convince other people that they're totally worth it.
No, they're great.
Probably,
I definitely don't regret anything.
It's probably the same thing with Crocs, you know?
I think you definitely regret Crocs.
Yeah, but I think Crocs are actually comfortable.
Yeah, they're probably... I mean, to be fair, they're clogs that are just made of softer material.
Yeah, rubber, basically.
Which
or
is,
whatever they're made of. But I don't know. I never got Crocs. Like, why not just wear sandals?
Yeah.
So you got slide-on sandals that are just as easy to put on, if not easier.
I never understood. It's like because you can take them in water.
But there's holes in the top, isn't there?
There's holes in the bottom, isn't there?
I don't know.
Apparently we know nothing about Crocs.
Because there's like holes all over. Isn't that the point of it?
That's what I thought. Like they're breathable, I guess, but they're just I don't see the like why you would pick a Croc over any other shoe.
Any other footwear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone send it in as an email to Cody. Tell him why you buy the Crocs.
Tell him why you buy Crocs. Please, actually. I would very much like to know. Because you see them... I think Brendan actually owns a pair of Crocs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's like full-on dad, so...
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say father-in-law has Crocs.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. I think it's a dad move.
It totally is. It's a power move.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a dad power move.
All the dad moves are power moves. It's like those things
true.
that are just like, I don't even give a fuck.
I'm a dad. What do I have left to lose?
Yeah.
I mean...
Socks and sandals. They're like, I don't give a fuck. Say something. I dare you.
I was on the trip, we were driving out of Quebec somewhere in some small town. There were so many small towns we drove through, so I don't even recall the names. Saint something. And I realized when I was going to get gas that I was wearing socks and sandals. And it was like the sandals that I bought from Shambhala, the like rope ones. I didn't even realize until I got back in the car and Danica was just like, did you go in there with socks and sandals? I was like, oh yeah, and like black socks, shorts and sandals. So it was probably the worst possible combination that you could ever imagine. And they're just like, you stupid English person. Coming into my small gas station. This was the oldest gas station I've ever stopped at.
Really?
It had a pump that literally had the dial numbers.
Oh.
Instead of like digital numbers, it was like flip, 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 flip. I loved it.
I loved it.
The
until aesthetic of it was amazing.
It was amazing until I had to go inside and pay and talk to humans. Ugh. That was rough.
Doesn't this thing take card? Come on.
Where's the tap?
Where's the tap for this fucking thing?
I had a real issue in Montana, paying for gas.
They don't accept tap or chip in the United States.
It was a weird gas station. Again, just like some random small town. Yeah, I'll go back to the tap thing in a bit, but this one in Montana, it didn't have your choices of like premium or ultra or anything like that. It was just one gas type, one octane. And I put in my card and it's like, congratulations, you can pay for gas. And then it said select grade and begin fueling. And I'm looking at this thing. There's no buttons on it. There's nothing. It's just, there's one grade. So I'm like, yeah, it's pre-selected grade, I guess. And I put the nozzle in my car and I'm like squeezing the handle and nothing's happening. And I'm just like, what the hell's going on? I've never had such a difficulty paying for gas because after a while it timed out my card. Yeah. I tried it again. Then my card wouldn't work. And then I tried my debit card, put in my PIN. It's like PIN error. That doesn't make sense. Okay. I go inside. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And she's just like, Yeah, so when it gets to that select grade, there's like a little lever underneath the nozzle that you have to lift, and then that selects your grade. I was like, oh, yep, just a stupid Canadian.
No, they
Don't
have
mind
that.
me.
They have one of those in Calgary.
Do they?
Yeah, I did. It's the same thing happened to me. I'm like fueling up, and I'm like putting it in. I'm like, how does this work? How does this gas thing work? I went into the store. I'm like, how does your gas work? Do I have to pay for it in here? And he's like, no, there's this little lever. You flip it up. I'm like, get a normal gas pump, dude.
Guy.
I know it's not your fault. You're just an employee
You
here.
just work here. You might not own this place, but if you do, fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, weird thing about using a Canadian card in the States is, well, for like the gas, only that one place I ever had to get gas, so this could have just been one gas station. You try to prepay for fuel, it's like enter a zip code. I was like, oh.
Uh-oh.
I don't even know a fake zip code. Shit.
1111.
Tried that, didn't work. 1112 didn't work either, but
12121.
I don't know how many numbers are actually in a zip code. Are there letters? Oh, is it 5?
It's all numbers. I'm pretty sure it's 5.
Whoops. So I was just like, I had to go inside. It was like, put $20 on this pump, and then I realized that like $20 in gallons of gas is actually quite a lot of gas.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't use all the $20, and I was like,
but you get that back, don't you?
I don't know. Maybe because it was on my credit card, so it's like if I had paid him like cash.
I'm pretty sure that's the thing. I don't know if it's like this in the States, but when you prepay it, you like a lot of them even just say like up to $200 now.
Yeah.
So it's like they make sure you have like $200 space or whatever.
Oh,
and then,
maybe
like, you can just fill up. But like even if I'm pretty sure if you don't use it all, it just goes back onto your card.
That'd be good because like I had a receipt that said $20, so I don't know if it like said like $20 or up to $20 type deal.
It's
so
probably because you had to, but like I know that's what it's like when you pay at the pump.
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
if you have to go in and prepay it, it's probably
might be a little bit different.
You
Yeah,
probably paid for $20.
probably.
Yeah,
like an idiot.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, that was.
Then you realize that like the United States, their gas prices are so much cheaper than ours, and like, why is this happening? All the gas comes from here. What's happening?
Well, yeah, I was gonna use the example of like Alberta beef is cheaper in BC, and BC fish is cheaper in Alberta, because I guess it's like less fresh, but also like the ethanol content in gas in the States is much higher too. So it's a much cheaper grade of fuel.
Isn't that bad? No, not ethanol. It was when there was lead in gasoline.
Yeah.
That was really bad.
Oh, yeah.
There's actually, it can be found in every single human on Earth.
Lead?
There's traces of lead on, I'm pretty sure I heard this right. But I listened to a podcast on it, and there's like traces of lead in every single human on Earth because when lead was in gasoline, it would just get released into like the atmosphere and stuff, and people would breathe it in. So like there's like a noticeable difference from people before that time and after that time. Yeah. And it gets passed down through generations and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like something that you just like can't get rid of.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've always heard lead poisoning was pretty severe. So.
Well, they used to use lead for everything, so they were kind of idiots back in the day. They just didn't know any better.
No, of course not. You're like, well, look at asbestos.
Yeah.
And everything like that. They're like, oh, look at this fireproof insulating material. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And then people started breathing it in, and they're like, oh, sweet, that's fine, right? And 30 years later,
you're like, I'm dying.
Oh yeah, it traces back 30 years ago. What the?
Fucking shit! God damn it!
What the hell?
Honestly, there's probably like a lot of stuff like that out today. Like we have no idea what Wi-Fi does to you.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
Like, we have no idea what long-term exposure to Wi-Fi does to a human.
Yeah. I saw this stupid news article that, of course, was 90% fake. It was just like, your phone is causing you to grow horns.
That's not even like...
I don't even know the correlation between those two things, how they could even... Of course, I didn't read the article because I was just like, no.
No, that's not something I'm reading. I'm not even like grading you with my click here.
I'm not even going to bother with that because I know that's ridiculous. And then 2 days later, it was just like, debunked. phones do not cause horns.
It's like, oh, really? We needed to debunk that one?
People were so concerned, being like, holy shit, I might have horns. No,
Am I going to grow horns? I have a phone. Oh, no. Yeah, there's some shit that you see and you're like, there's no way that that's true. There's 100%. Gosh. And then I have read a couple of those articles and you read it and it's like, not that at all.
No.
It's like, this one thing may have like this chance of doing this one thing, or in this super rare case, this one thing happens.
One thing happened
like,
to this person who had this super rare condition.
Yeah. And it was the phone that did it. And you're like, fuck you. You guys, I know what you're doing.
This is the biggest clickbait article, yeah.
Well, that's the sad thing about today's media, though, is that
it is all based on
clicks.
Yeah.
That's like what you, like, that's how free media needs to exist, because the only way that free media can make money is by selling ads, and the way that you make yourself viable to people to want to advertise with you is be like, look at the traffic we have to our website, and that is exactly correlated to clicks.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Like, you even see, like YouTube channels and stuff like that I would watch, I don't know, a few years ago, and even now today, or, like, that have come all this way. Like, you can see it in the way they name their videos now. Mm. There's, like, all caps, and instead of being, like, gameplay, it's funny moments and stuff like that, because it generates more traffic of people probably just going on to YouTube going, funny.
Yeah.
Search.
I need entertainment now.
I don't know what I want, just I want something funny.
I would like to laugh.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's also like some podcasts I've started listening have listened to for a long time. They started doing ads in like the middle of the podcast. I'm like, ugh. I hate it. Like, I get why you're doing it. I
totally get it, but yeah.
But you do ads at the beginning and at the end, and I listen to those ads because I'm like, okay, you're giving me free contact. I'll listen to your fucking sales pitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But when you do it in the middle, I'm like, I hate this. It kind of ruins the flow of conversation. It's like, why are we doing this?
I listened to two podcasts specifically that do that, and they're by the same people, so I get why they do it on both. But it's like my brother and me, and then they also do like a D&D podcast with their dad called The Adventure Zone. And both podcasts, like, they didn't do it at first, but yeah, like right in the middle of each, they'll phase out of the D&D, and the DM will give you this ad breakdown of, oh, Nature Box, oh, Audible, and everything like that. And I'm okay with it because
it is free content.
It's free content, yeah. And it also, he does it in such a way that it's like, it's still entertaining, and I'm still entertained by the ads that they do.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty good way. Obviously, some companies and everything like that are way more lenient with their advertising. Yeah. Like Audible, they're probably just like, name this, tell them about the free credit, tell them a book you're listening to or something like that.
Yeah,
and then
it's exactly that. I signed up for that, and then I did it for a couple of times, and I was like, I'm not big enough to like have affiliate sponsors yet. Like,
well, you never know. I mean, like, you'd be like, if one person was like, yeah, I got this book because of this podcast, sweet.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when I first started podcasting, because I would listen to podcasts, so I was like, okay, I need like the Amazon link, and I need,
you did, yeah, that's right.
I need the Amazon link, I need the Audible sponsorship and stuff like that, and all this stuff, and then I was like, I'm literally nobody's buying any of this or whatever, so like I'm gonna maybe establish an audience first,
and then get into that.
Maybe I'll sneak the affiliate shit in later or whatever, but but. It's weird. It's interesting. Like the Amazon thing, I made about $150 off of because
full disclosure, yeah.
Sorry?
Said full disclosure, nice.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually get that money because what happened is I was getting at my work, we order some of our diapers through Amazon because it's just cheaper.
Oh yeah.
So they were doing that. I was like, oh, when you do it, just order it through my Amazon link, right?
Yeah.
So I made about $150 doing that, and then they sent me an email being like, yeah, this is bullshit, you can't do that. And I was like, what are you talking about? This is just generating money for everybody.
Yeah.
Why can't I have my revenue?
I guess it would be like, not necessarily conflict of interest maybe, but like, I guess.
Yeah.
Using like your professional background to
They didn't know what my
your...
professional background was. Like...
True, that's actually like really weird. I guess maybe because it was coming from a corporation.
It was coming from a corporation. I think that's why. But
yeah.
I'm like, this is still a win-win situation for every single person involved.
We're still sending money through Amazon, so just like, come on. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because other than that, how many people actually use like the Amazon link? I know I always forgot to.
I try to on some of them.
A terrible person.
But I just don't use Amazon that much anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, to be honest, I think that the only thing I use Amazon for is, like, I bought some picture frames on Amazon.
Really? That's a weird one.
Well, it's because, like, you know, picture frames I would buy at Walmart or the dollar store anyway, so I was like, okay, I can buy that on Amazon. But when it comes to stuff like electronics, or not even electronics, I don't buy that much electronics, but I just try and, like, buy from local stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I think that it helps the community a little bit better, and...
I do prefer the local things. Like, obviously, the things that I'll buy from Amazon are things that I can't get. Like, the last thing I bought from Amazon was Joy-Con replacements for my Nintendo Switch.
Okay, yeah. It's really good for shit like that.
Yeah,
like replacement
weirdly
parts.
Specific stuff. Yeah.
Like weirdly, like I need this very specific part, like adapter cable for my mixing thing, and you can find it easily. You just put in the model number and put adapter cord, and they're like, oh yeah, here it is,
this one.
$3.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck yeah.
Right? I was like, sure, I could have gone to like a local shop and had them fix it, but at the same time, I was like, they'll fix it for $60, and I can get this whole kit for myself for $15 because of the 2 Joy-Cons. So if the next one goes or the right one goes or anything like that, sweet. Mm-hmm. And it gave me little instructions, which were very confusing to read because they were definitely translated from Chinese. Yeah, made it a little bit difficult, but with a little bit of YouTube help, that was just fine.
Yeah, I definitely got screwed from buying things from Amazon before. Like I remember I ordered bath mats.
Oh,
like
really?
A shower and a toilet mat.
Yeah.
It was like $5. I was like, fuck yeah, this is a great deal.
Hell
and I got them and I lifted it up. I was like, I see why this was $5.
Oh, no.
It doesn't even, like, the toilet one doesn't fit around the toilet. It's like, what kind of teeny ass toilets are you guys making these
like
for?
for one of those mini homes.
Yeah. It's like this is bullshit. Also, I can't be too mad. I paid $5.
Yeah, it's always the struggle.
Yeah.
It's like I always see people complaining that like, because I'm assuming you get ads on Facebook for like Wish. Mm-mm. No? Mm-mm. Oh, you're one of the...
I'm going to now, probably.
Damn it, I'm so sorry. Because you'll get it's like an online, like Amazon, but it's all like Chinese knockoff products and stuff like that. And whenever they pop up with suggestions, like I'm sure anyone who has this ad pop up can also testify to this, they give you the weirdest shit. Like... the weirdest. Like gimp suits and stuff like that.
I'm like this.
Where are you pulling this?
What have I been searching?
What have I been talking about? That I just need like a pair of Speedos with a dildo on it and a hole for my balls. I know me and Danica are always talking about that.
Maybe it's Danica.
Who knows?
Your wife is searching up some weird shit.
Some weird stuff. Yeah. It's entirely possible.
It's research for the book. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I'd say too.
Yeah, it's the cool thing about being an author. You're like, yeah, it's just research.
Just research.
Just need to know.
Yeah, there were times where she'd be like, I had to search up something real weird today. Like, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Just leave it at that. I'll read it in the next book. That's fine.
I'll try and pick it out.
I'll be reading going, yeah,
that was it.
There it is. Yeah.
That's why I'm getting gimsuit recommendations.
Yeah. Well, it's like one was like, just like she searched up, oh, can someone survive with like an arrow in their shoulder and an arrow in their like kidney or something like that, or like in their side? I'm like, why would Google know that?
Also, who's shooting somebody in the side?
Who's testing these theories?
Mythbusters, obviously.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah. Just go through their episode list and be like, how many arrows can one person take before dying?
The Deadliest Warrior.
Oh yeah,
That's a good show. I like that show.
It was good, but it was
such
I
bullshit.
feel like it was so wildly inaccurate.
Yeah, it was such bullshit, but it was also like real cool just to see them use
Yeah.
weapons on like these gel torsos.
Oh yeah, and you knew that's the whole reason behind it. They're just like, man, we have all these weapons, and we'll never get to use them. I know.
We'll fucking make the show.
We'll make this show where we just get to cut stuff and then assign arbitrary numbers to each slice and be like, that was effective. That was not so effective, but it still cut his head off. So
yeah. How
less
much
effective.
did it cut his head off? Like,
yeah. How far into the neck did that go?
Yeah. Also, why is one person cutting his head off and the other person gets like a leg to chop at or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm assuming that it was because, they tested them all fairly. Like, everyone got a head chop and everyone got like a body shot or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just that, it's an hour show. You can't show all the tests that they probably had to do.
Yeah.
I'm hoping at least.
I'm hoping it wasn't just like some actual garbage that they were just like, we just decided we like ninjas better, so they beat Romans.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's because of their tactics.
Yeah, their tactics.
Or like where they'd say like, oh yeah, let's put these two head to head, but it's like, yeah, this group would never, ever fight you head on.
Yeah.
And then these guys would, like walk at you, standing 30 wide with shields in hand and go, huh.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna do it as a one-on-one scenario,
Yeah.
even though this person never fought one-on-one.
Yeah.
They were part of a unit almost exclusively.
Exactly.
Like especially like the Romans. Like I know they did Roman centurion, but
Yeah.
that's just the leader of
That's the leader. Like sure, yeah, he worked his way up through the ranks, but it's
it
like
didn't mean he was any less of a part of the unit.
yeah. No, exactly. And my understanding just meant he lived the longest.
Yeah, exactly. He was just really good at not dying.
Yeah, you didn't die this battle. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Come on up.
You get promoted.
Hey,
awesome.
I saw you kill those guys.
Yeah,
That's
you didn't shit your pants. You didn't run away. Promoted.
Nice.
Also still alive.
Still have both your hands. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's kind of the cruel joke of like Roman society. I think is they were like, yo, if you make it 25 years, you can retire and we'll give you a farm. And
Yeah.
like, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, because it's like you gave me all those books about like you gave me the Ben Kane series and then you gave me the Connor Golden series, both of which are fantastic.
Yeah.
But just like two totally different sides of Caesar in a sense.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Which is neat because obviously like he's a villain in history.
No, he doesn't get remembered as a villain.
No,
but he's definitely a
villain. Yeah. Oh yeah.
People are always like, "Yo, he was such a great general," and you're like, "Yeah, but he committed genocide." And they're like, "But general in tactics." And
but like
he committed genocide, and then he instilled himself as an emperor, destroying democracy in the Roman Republic for the rest of its existence.
Yeah, but like aqueducts.
Yeah,
man. How cool are those?
Yeah, and I thought the same thing, and like guys don't time kind of heals all wounds,
Oh yeah.
So it's like you don't remember Caesar's like he might have committed genocide, but you don't remember him as a bad guy. You can like look at him objectively.
Yeah. Well, someone said to me, it might have even been you at this point, but it's like, how long until we talk about Hitler that way?
Yeah.
Not our generation, maybe not even the next generation, but like...
Or even the generation after that. But like in 2,000 years, if we make it that long, some people might look at Hitler and be like, he did good.
He definitely brought Germany out of that hole, but also,
Kill a lot of Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that whole genocide thing.
But...
He was a great politician, and his tactics were
economy, am I right? Yeah. The important stuff.
Yeah, but he was obviously a terrible human being. Like nobody is.
No one can ever attest that fact.
No, we're not Hitler apologists over here.
Oh God, no! Oh shit! Did I just put you into a weird neo-Nazi subreddit, being like, "Hey, look at these guys."
They're gonna take sound bites from this podcast now, and now we're fascists.
Is that something you're always like worried about? Maybe as you like gain more traction, someone's just gonna like splice your words into a directed message that works to their.
Maybe if I was bigger, but I don't think I'll ever get that big or famous. And if they did, I'd be like, okay, well, here's the actual.
Well, here's what actually happened.
Have it, so
guys, there's like a whole
context.
Yes,
there are some podcasts that I've done though back, but 2 years ago, and like my opinions change obviously as all humans do. And I kind of like listened back to him. I was like, I had some pretty interesting opinions back there.
Pretty strange and boisterous opinions.
Yeah. It's like right when the whole gender pronoun thing was becoming a big issue. And, you know, you don't really understand it. And you're just like, somebody wants to be called a foxkin. Fuck that shit. That's weird. But then you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
I get it.
Like with all mental health things, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, it's always like so thing. It's such a weird thing seeing online how many people get upset about like the pride sidewalks in Calgary. Like, holy crap.
Well, especially like the people who are like vandalizing them. It's like, why the fuck do you care that much?
Yeah. Holy.
I don't get it. Like, I get why people are upset when they're vandalized. It's like, it's a symbol that, like, you know, we are supposed to be progressing as a society. And then there's these assholes who are just like...
It's like, none of that.
It's like, why the fuck do you care? Why is this a big deal to anybody?
How does it affect your life so much that you're like...
So angry at this fucking sidewalk.
One intersection.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And I will walk by it probably once a week, maybe.
Like, I can only imagine that person just walking by and just getting so fucking angry. Like,
why do we have to accept everyone?
Why this fucking rainbow? I swear to God! Like,
oh man, yeah.
No, I've never understood people who can get so worked up and so angry on something so stupid. Like, why does it affect you at all?
No.
How does it affect you at all about who these people choose to have sex with or love or whatever it may be? It shouldn't.
It really shouldn't.
Like, why is it? Unless, I like, honestly, probably it's because they probably have some questions about their own sexuality and they're, like, super trying to suppress it. And they're like, oh, it just reminded about how gay I think I am. Like,
yeah, and, like, that's a lot of people's kind of takes on it, right? I just, like, it's unfortunate. I think it's just, like, some people are just inherently assholes, and they're like, this isn't for me, it can't be for anyone else now.
My opinion is the right opinion, and everybody has to accept my opinion. There's only one opinion that can be right, and it's obviously mine.
Obviously. It's such a minor thing too.
I think that you know, as we progress in society and like as the generations are coming up, I think we're getting less and less of that. I think it's more like the generation kind of before us, especially like people in their 30s are kind of, I feel like they're on
the like cusp of, like,
they're on the cusp of it. Like, not to say that there's not some like people who are younger who are like vehement whatevers, but I think that like you can kind of see it fading out, you know what I mean?
Well, and I think too, it's like, obviously you get this, like, we're in that middle, right? Like, we're in the middle of, like, we don't have kids, and, like, I guess, okay, we're in this middle ground of, like, there's the older generation that are having kids, and they're kind of pushing these views onto their kids. Not necessarily, like, pushing them, but, like, as you know, like, when we grew up, like, obviously, if mom and dad had an opinion, until we were old enough to kind of form our own opinions, we just assimilated those opinions, you know? And it wasn't until, like, we started forming our own opinions, how many times can I say opinions, that things really changed, right? And so it's like you see it now with the students and everything like that they just kind of regurgitate whatever their parents obviously told them.
Yeah, or it's a lot more, I think, what the media is telling them.
And that too, yeah.
Like social media and what, like, the popular thing is and stuff.
Yeah. And it's, because, I mean, I'm sure it was like the same thing when we were kids, though, right? Like, part of our opinions and part of our thoughts were formed based on the media we were intaking.
Well, for sure.
Like, there's no doubt about that, and that obviously helps you form these viewpoints. It's just you got to, I guess, be able to kind of cut out the bullshit, which I don't think a lot of people... I shouldn't say that. I don't think some people can.
I think a lot of people just take things as absolutes.
Yeah.
They don't see, like, they're like, it's either this way or this way. It can't be like, when in like reality, like, nothing is an absolute.
No.
There's literally nothing that is 100% anything. Like, you can, like, if you push anything to its farthest extreme, you can find an example that like, for example, okay, murder is bad. We can all agree on murder is bad, but say somebody's like, you have to murder this person, I'm going to murder 10 of those people.
Yeah.
Is murder now bad? Or, like, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just stuff like that. Like, you can
find that weird
area. Yes, exactly. With almost anything.
Yeah.
So, like, 99.9999999% of the time, murder is terrible.
Yeah.
But there's
that one opportunity. I mean, situation.
Exactly. But have you watched some of the older movies from like the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff like that? Like, if you've gone back and watched some of, like, for example, I was watching Talladega Nights.
Fair, yeah.
And I was just kind of like, it's funny still, but then there's some jokes you're like, they're really making fun of this person for being gay and French. Yeah. And you're like, I don't know if that would fly anymore.
Yeah. And like, there's a lot of movies like that, right? Yeah. Like, almost any Adam Sandler movie that we thought was like amazing in the day.
Yeah.
Big Daddy, Waterboy, and it's like those movies would not fly nowadays.
Yeah, no.
Without a doubt. Yeah. And it's kind of one of those things because it's like, I feel like maybe comedy is something that should never be taken too seriously, or it should never be something that's scrutinized to the point of like, oh, you made a joke about racism? That's obviously your opinion or anything like that. Like, you see nowadays, like, comedians getting death threats because of jokes that they made on stage. And it's always one of those things where it's like, if you can't make jokes about it, then it just gets too serious.
Yeah.
A lot of things are serious, obviously, but...
Yeah, well, like, a lot of these things are serious, for sure, but you're not going to change anything by not allowing people to talk or express their opinions. Yeah. The only thing you're going to do is make those people mad.
Yeah.
And they're going to double down on their opinions, because if they can't express them and you just keep saying, like, you don't let them talk, then why would they ever agree with your opinions?
No, exactly.
Why would, like, if I have an opinion, you just come to me and you're like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, you're
it's
wrong.
like, oh, yeah, no, you're right. Okay, I'm going to change my opinion. You're totally right. Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that I was wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Crap.
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
There I go, being wrong all the time.
Wrong. I guess I should just conform to your opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
no, exactly.
Like, people don't understand that. It's like, kind of rampant on, like kind of the left right now. The more liberal side is not letting people talk. Like, shutting down
both
speech.
sides too. It's really unfortunate. Obviously, like, given the political climate in our own province and everything like that. Yeah, it is. Maybe I'm seeing the one side of it, because, like, I definitely do see the people who lean more left who are, like, taking the more aggressive stances and stuff like that. But then at the same time, when we were more a left province, it was the opposite. It was more the right-minded people who were kind of, like, taking the aggressive stance. And I think it's just, like, whoever's in...
That's fair.
It's a change of power type deal. But obviously, like, neither side is, like, coming to a point where there's any kind of positive discourse.
Yeah.
It's just like, these people are wrong, these people are assholes, and then anyone goes, well, what about this? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. It's like, yeah, but, like, see both sides to the argument, and it's a struggle, because obviously, and it's kind of the same thing, like, when if you talk about left politics, then Google's going to show you all the left politics articles you want to see.
It's an echo chamber.
Yeah. And you're going to sit there going like, oh, yeah, I'm so right in my opinions, because all of these articles that I'm specifically seeing that are geared towards me are agreeing with me.
Yeah.
So I am right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unfortunate, because, yeah, you have so many people who are just so unwilling to see both sides.
Yeah, other people's opinions. It's like almost becoming a radical thing to be kind of in the center.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is weird. I actually heard the term, it was on the Sam Harris podcast, but it was the radical center.
Yeah.
I was like, are you serious right now? Is that what we've gotten to? Like,
oh, man.
That the center is radical?
Jeez.
Yeah, it's just a weird time that we live in. It's like, especially with social media and stuff, and the thing is that it's been proven that social media and especially Facebook will actually show you things on your newsfeed that it's meant to get you riled up and angry.
Oh, really?
Because they found that when you're angry, you're more likely to spend more time on Facebook because you're going to get into stupid internet arguments with people. And like, so if you've posted anything about anti-vaccine or stuff, it's going to keep showing you anti-vaccine stuff and like the opposite sides, because like it's just the way the algorithm works, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like not even the thing that it's really hard to kind of wrap your head around is it's not necessarily people who are making these decisions.
No.
It's these algorithms that have been made that are kind of just like on the loose now. Like they're
AI,
controlling
right?
it's AI. It's like, but it's like not like it's not like general artificial intelligence, obviously. No. It's just like a intelligence that has been programmed to do its job, and it's just doing its job.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting because there's no nefarious person behind the scenes pulling all these strings being like, ha ha ha, dance puppets. It's just this fucking computer program that somebody programmed and then they let it loose. And it's like, this is what it's doing.
Yeah, basically. It's so weird, the age that we live in. That's all I can really say about that one, unfortunately.
It is weird. On a lighter note.
Yeah.
So, my cat.
Yeah.
He brought... Okay, so here's the story. I was sitting here reading my book.
That's fair. So far, pretty light. Yeah.
And I noticed that my cat had come into the house, and he was playing with something over by the stairs, and it was like squeaking. So I was like, oh yeah, he's just playing with one of his toys.
Yeah.
And he's like throwing it around and stuff. And I'm like, that's squeaking a lot. And I go over to it and I like look at it, and it's just like, oh yeah, no, that's just one of the fake little mouse things. And then it moved, and I was like, that's a live mouse.
That is a live mouse that he's just toying with, and he's like, ha.
He brought it into the house. So both me and Chester proceed to like chase this mouse around the house because I'm trying to catch it so I can like throw it outside so that my cat doesn't toy with it to death. And we're running.
Chester just wants to have more fun.
He just wants to. He's just having the best time ever. So we're running around the house like both trying to catch this mouse, and he's probably just like, yeah, this is awesome, and I'm like, ah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyways, didn't catch the mouse.
Oh no.
But the next morning, it was like right by the stairs. I was like, yep, he killed the shit out of that thing. He's definitely,
no.
Yeah. So, maybe that wasn't a lighter note.
No, that was kind of dark, honestly. I mean, I get it. The cats do that and everything like that.
Dude, cats are dicks.
Yeah. I mean, they're natural born hunters, right?
Yeah, they're savages.
People are always like, oh, man, imagine the first person meeting a wolf and then being like, I'm going to make you a pet. It's like we did the exact same thing to cats, and almost like it didn't work.
Yeah, we actually didn't do it. We've never domesticated cats.
I guess.
So, like, what happened was people had barns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least this is, I think, what they think happened. So people had barns, and cats, like wild cats, would just come and live in the barns.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of mice in there.
Yeah.
The farmers saw the benefit of having cats in there, so they just let them do that. So it was never really like a full domestication thing. It was just kind of like almost like a symbiotic relationship thing. Whereas like with dogs, we like fully domesticated them.
No, you will be mine.
Yeah, we will control you. Like And it's the same with like cows and sheep and all that kind of stuff. It's like a full domestication thing, but with like cats, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Because like also if they want to like leave or whatever, they're just like
oh yeah.
They
have no. They're like, oh, I guess I gotta find a new place to get food.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll come back, but.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they're weird. Cats are. Yeah.
Weird little creatures.
Yeah, dogs are great though. I like dogs. Dogs are more better. I'm always gonna be a dog person over a cat person. I feel like that's.
You're allergic to cats.
I still like cats. I still enjoy like the cat you got now. It's like, hey, you're a nice cat. As long as I don't touch my eyes, I'm fine. Although there was 2 asshole cats that I didn't like, and there was nothing wrong with them per se. They were just very needy and aggressive, and like I was house sitting, and it was like every morning I would wake up at 6 a.m. and they'd be outside my door just meowing, and I'm like, okay, fine, like I get it. And then I'd step outside, the one cat would like jump on my leg and just be like, like, no, stop, please, I'll get your food, just give me a minute. Just like, I just got out the door, please. And then also the other cat would just be like, I had a chicken nugget in my hand, and I was just having a conversation with Danica, and we're sitting on like kitchen stools, so they're pretty tall stools. Cat just jumps up on the counter, snatches the nugget out of my hand, and just takes off. And I was like, what the fuck? This damn cat. I chased it around for so long trying to get my nugget. I'm like, I'm not going to eat the nugget now.
But like, it's a matter of principle.
Yeah. That same cat stole a breakfast wrap from Danica, like half of a breakfast wrap. Not even like just a couple bites. Like literally, she took 2 bites out of it, and then the cat just ripped it out of the sleeve and then went. And I was like, oh my god, this cat. I finally like chased it down to a point where it's just like all it had left was the tortilla of the wrap, and the egg and the sausage was all over the house, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm done. Whatever.
I'm leaving the remnants of this breakfast burrito everywhere.
I'm here for a day, whatever, cat, you win.
Yeah.
Because that's all I can... Oh.
Well, like, that's the thing, like, if a cat wants something that you have, it can get it.
It can.
No matter where you are, it can get it. A dog is like, hey, give it to me. And he can jump up on you, but you're like, get away from me.
Stop.
And like,
he's like,
okay,
right.
I can't get it. Like, but a cat will, like, parkour off shit and, like, do some Matrix stuff and snatch it from your hand. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me
Make
right
you look
now?
that way. It's coming from the other side. And you're like, ah, oh, god damn.
Cats are so much more annoying when it comes to food.
Yes. Yeah.
If they want to be. They don't like all the things that humans like.
No.
But for some reason, Chester, he really likes chips and he really likes pizza.
Oh, good.
So anytime I'm eating chips or pizza, he's just like all up in my business. And I'm like, get out of here. And he's like, he just won't leave me alone.
Oh, my God.
I have to like, if I'm eating chips, I'll just take a chip and I'll like place it somewhere over there. Or somewhere away from me. I'm like, there. You can have that chip.
Deal with it.
He doesn't even really want to eat it. He just licks it a couple times and he like swats at it.
That also makes it worse because he's not hungry and he's not gonna eat it. He's just like,
he's just being a dick.
Yeah. He's like, no, I just want to swat it out of your hand.
Yeah. It's just like, you're not paying enough attention to me.
This is a fun game we're playing, SWAT. Grab a chip, SWAT.
Yeah, but that's like almost anything. Like, you read a book, he like has to get in between me and like my face and the book.
Oh my gosh.
Or like I'm writing and he will come and just sit right down on the notebook and just look at me and I'm like, I like bite at the pen and shit and I'm like, you're so needy.
Damn it.
Oh. It's not all about you, man.
No, I have my own life. You're a part of it, I guess. But...
Yeah. Like, obviously, I love the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And he's adorable and snuggly and all those things.
All the good things that cats are as well.
But they're also dicks.
Devils.
If you need, like, a practice or in duality or whatever, or, like, balance and, like, kind of seeing things as both sides, just get a fucking cat.
One day you love him, the next day you're just like, fuck this cat.
Yeah, it like goes like, it's just like that.
Yeah.
It's like, you could just like you get so mad sometimes, like I pick him up and I like throw him.
And he's just like, wee.
Yeah, he's fine. And then I'm like, I instantly feel bad for doing that. And I hate that you made me feel this way.
Even though you have no idea that I felt that way. You're just like, fun game, yeah.
You're just a turd. A little annoying, super codependent turd.
Yeah. I mean, at least you know his love for you will never die.
Until he does.
Or you do, and then he eats you 5 days later.
Which is fine, I'm dead, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
I would
at that
rather
point,
he survive.
It's worse for everybody else than you.
If you find a dead person and a dead cat, that's just doubly sad.
Yeah,
But
true.
if you find like a half-eaten person who's just an alive cat, that's fine.
Well...
You know, that cat like ate a bunch of
yeah, you know, like he's good, and that's a one healthy cat, I guess.
Yeah.
Human flesh. Ugh.
Yeah, cats are weird.
Cats are fucked. Cats are
crazy.
Yeah, no, that's true. What? I don't know if you had like a specific topic or anything like that. No. I don't know. We've just been.
That's not usually how it goes. I never have like specific topics.
I don't know. You never know.
You're right. Some podcasts are like wildly different.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, you have your one podcast that is like super specific
about music.
And then you have your other one that's just like, hey.
We just talk about stuff.
Just having a chat.
Yeah.
Just having a chat.
Well, that's the thing, is because, like, everybody has a unique perspective on things.
True.
Everybody has their own stories and stuff like that. So no matter what, every single person is interesting if you actually just sit down and take the time to talk to them. I shouldn't say every single person. I should say 95% of people. There are some people who just sit in their basement and play WoW all day, which is fine. But you just don't have any cool stories.
Yeah, no, it's true.
The things that happen on WoW.
I mean, sometimes it gets pretty heated.
It does. Like, I still talk about... I still have stories from fucking World of Warcraft that I bring up sometimes with my other WoW friends.
Yeah.
Be like, man, that one time that guy, like, camped me, and then I, like, resurrected, and I came back and I kicked his ass. Like, oh,
hell yeah.
Man, that redemption feeling was so good.
Yeah.
Like, I still... And now they're releasing... Classic WoW.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all my friends are obviously into it.
Yeah.
So they're all gonna probably start playing again, and I'm like,
Wasn't WoW Classic though just like such a grind, and
that's the
reason why they changed it?
That's the thing is, I think everybody's looking at it like kind of through rose-colored glasses right now.
Yeah.
Because they're remembering like the good old days or whatever.
Yeah.
But I played after all these expansions came out, like. I played Wrath of the Lich King because there was a free server that you could just play Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
And I played it, and some of the things that I forgot existed, I was like, oh, I'm super happy that they actually changed this in the newer ones, you know? And like, WoW Classic's going to be that, but like times 10.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, running around, like, you don't get a mount until 40.
Oh, God.
Like, they changed that to 20 so that, you know, things went faster.
But
in a Classic WoW, it's... you still get a mount at 20.
Do you?
No, I don't remember. You didn't get a mount until 40, and you got your epic mount at 60.
Yeah.
Max leveled. Or 50. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was so long. I thought it was another 60 that they started at, wasn't it?
60 was the max.
Like every time the new expansion would come out, now they're like 110 or something like that?
Yeah, it went up by 10 or 5. Because I think in Cataclysm it was only 5.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. But just the grind I remember of that game.
Yeah.
But honestly, I did have some great times in WoW Classic too.
Fair.
The world PvP was way better, and
yeah, and I think too, like, when we first started playing WoW was probably like one of our first computer games that, well, really spent any like major amount of time on.
Other than like I played a lot of like the Command and Conquer games.
True. I always forget about those and
play the shit out of the Red Alert too.
Yeah. W Sun and all that.
Not as much as I like Red Alert 2 better, but
I never understood the was it like, because it was Red Alert, but was it like an expansion or was it like a?
It was all of them were Command and Conquer. That was it was Command and Conquer Red Alert, Command and Conquer Red Alert 2, Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun.
Yeah.
And then the original game was just called Command and Conquer.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, like WoW. I remember. I think it was because they like as soon as flying mounts got introduced, there was nobody on the ground anymore.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna fly through this enemy territory.
Yeah, you didn't have to run around and get potentially ganked by a million different people.
Yeah.
Which like. Fair. That was kind of frustrating at points, but it also made it way funner.
It added like an interesting aspect to the game.
Yeah.
Because like I do specifically remember being in like a beginner area, or like the one outside the beginner area, and being like, "Oh sweet, I'm level 12, awesome!" And then you just see this group.
Like level 60 points. You're like, they're just slaying everybody.
And they're like just dead. Yeah. Oh cool. I guess I'll respawn at the town. Oh look, they're here, dead.
Yeah.
All right, logging off.
Logging off for now. Hopefully in half an hour they are gone.
Because fuck that.
Yeah. I did that one time. I was like, this is actually real boring.
Why am I doing this?
I don't know who gets joy out of this, but this is not fun.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to take on the town guards. Woo.
Yeah, you get no experience. You get no honor.
Yeah.
Like, it's some of the best memories I have from that game are like when you got into like a real good fight. Like, it was kind of like evenly matched, but you like really had to like bust out your skills and got into like a real good fight and you prevailed.
Yeah, I never got to that point because I could never spend more than, oh god.
Yeah, I know.
I think the highest level I've ever gotten in any version of World of Warcraft was maybe like 30.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like maxed out. I did a little bit of raiding when I did a bit of raiding in Pandaria, but I came a little late to the party because I had to start from my account got hacked or whatever, so I had to make a whole new character.
Oh, jeez.
So I had to go from 0 to like 80. And like my friend, we all kind of started around the same time, but by like all my friends had like high level characters, so they just had to go to 10 levels.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to max level,
they're all done.
They were like, we're pretty much done with this. And I was like, but guys,
I'm here. I finally made it.
Yeah. Then the next expansion, the Warlords of Draenor or whatever, I got to max level and we did do raiding, and that was honestly like, it's real fun to do when you have a group of your friends. Yeah. So like we just had a group of, there was usually, because you needed a minimum of 10, but there was like 10 to 15 of us, and we're all on, vent or whatever, and just kind of having a good time, and it's kind of cool to accomplish the goals and get gear, and again, it's just fair. It's something that you can do with like your friends that you don't really ever see anymore, because like I'm sure that you're maybe kind of experiencing this, but like as you get older, it's just really hard to kind of get all your friends together.
Oh god, yeah. And like especially on a video game too.
Yeah. It's easier to do it on a video game because everybody can just sit at their own house.
Yeah, true.
Like that's why it's kind of easier because we used to play Roll20, which is a D&D website. Yeah. So it was easier to get us all together for that. Yeah. Because everybody just had to be in front of their computer at that time. You didn't have to travel half an hour across the city. Yeah. And there's also a half-hour return trip and stuff like that. So it was way easier to like coordinate people for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's easier just to like pop onto your computer or whatever. So
I'd be like, hey, look, there's all my friends.
Yeah. So that's honestly what's kind of tempting me about Mario Classic right now, is just because I don't see any of these people anymore.
Yeah, true.
Like when we built the fence out here, so I put the call out to all my friends, right? I was like, yo, guys, I'm building my fence this weekend. Yeah. It's a real big job, so it'd be awesome if some of you could come and help or whatever. And like, I wasn't expecting as much people to show up as did, but on like the Friday night, like 8 people showed up. And it was like, you're talking to your friends, like, oh, so what have you been doing? And they're like, yeah, nothing. I've been like sitting at my house for 2 months. I'm like, oh yeah, like kind of me too. Good, it's like, why are we not hanging out? And it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's weird.
Yeah, it's one of those aspects of, unless it's like a specific reason, people are kind of just so set in their own worlds too. Yeah. I've totally been there, done that. Where it's like, you're just like, oh, I could go out, or I could try and rally up some people to go out to a bar or something like that. Or I could just sit at home and watch Netflix, and obviously you're going to get more enjoyment out of going out. Yeah. For some people,
sometimes you don't feel like
sometimes,
that.
Yeah, sometimes you're just like, no, I'm done.
Yeah. Honestly, every single time I've ever gone out, I usually regret my decisions as I regret my decisions as I'm on the way to the place. Yes. Yeah. Like on transit or driving, like, why am I doing this? This is fucking stupid. I could just be at home right now. Yeah. And then I always have the best time.
Oh yeah. Just ask Danica about that. She'll tell you it frustrates her to no end, in the sense that like we'll make plans with someone, And then the day of the plans, I'll be like, fuck. Gotta go do this thing. And I'm like, could we just, like, cancel? Or, like, I'll just, like, make a big stink about having to go, I gotta go downtown. I gotta go find parking. And then it'll be like, yeah, as we get there, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is why I do these things. Because I enjoy people.
It's enjoyable. I haven't seen this person forever, and I enjoy their company.
Yeah. But getting out there, goddamn, is it tough.
Yeah, like every single time that happens to me is like just on the way, I'm like, this is dumb. Why am I doing
Why
this?
do I do this to myself? Why do I make plans? Fuck plans.
Yeah. And like the sad thing is I used to succumb to those feelings a lot more. Like I would have those feelings. I'm like, I'm canceling, fuck it. And I would just play video games.
Yeah.
But then like you get into this weird spot where your friends stop inviting you to do stuff.
Because you keep canceling on them.
Yeah, so it's like, we're not going to invite you anymore, and then you don't, and then you
just
are like,
why
is nobody inviting
spiral.
me? Yeah, exactly. Why is nobody inviting me to do things anymore? And then you realize, so I guess it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, very true.
And like I said, every single time I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun. And I just have to remind myself.
It's just that, it's taking that first step.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even, like, I went out with Ryan the other night, just, like, to a bar by our place, like the Toad and Turtle. It's a 7-minute drive from our house. And it's, like, literally, I got back from my workout at 6, and I was going to meet him at 8. And I was just, like, between 6 and 8, and I was just like, fuck. Oh, I'm gonna go see my best friend. This sucks. And then I go out there, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm going to see my best friend, you idiot.
Yeah, don't be so lazy.
Yeah, basically. I'm like, fuck. Like, he drove from Lakeview or whatever he's in, and I'm driving 7 minutes, and I'm still like,
Yep.
God, I'm an asshole.
Yep. And the funny thing is that it happens a lot with podcasts for me, too.
Yeah.
Like, all the podcasts that I'm usually the most dreading going into have turned out to be like some of the best ones.
Oh, really?
Like the most enjoyable conversations.
Yeah.
Like especially the ones where I have to like go out to somewhere.
That's fair.
It gives me a little bit more time to think about it, but they've all just been like some of the, like, for example, the one that I did with Graham Moseman.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
At Prairie Dog, I was like kind of dreading that, and I was like, this is gonna be kind of weird. Like we're out in a public place, and like honestly, the instant I walked in, we like exchanged formalities, and then we just like, he's like, oh, so what's your weekend been looking like? I'm like, I just been playing video games. He's like, what video game? I'm like, Dragon Age Inquisition. He's like, oh shit.
Oh, hell
and just went off on that. So, and then like we talked about D&D for like 18 minutes. And
Yeah, he seems like an interesting dude, so
yeah,
he's very, like, obviously, like, I think he's very polarizing, I guess, like when he posts to like X929, which is very surprising because like everything he posts is very well thought out and very, like, obviously he's picking a side and he's sticking to it, which I appreciate. He's not just like middle of the road, well, maybe, or, but like, so in that, like, it's good. I can't say I've ever like specifically listened to his radio broadcast. I'm sure I've caught the radio D&D a few times, which are always pretty comical, so which is like, that's pretty neat that he came up with that, or I don't know if he specifically came up with that he started implementing that on the air. It was pretty cool. So he always likes Danica's posts, which is funny. Because it's usually like just Danica will post on Instagram, be like, I'm playing Mass Effect 2 and it's the greatest, it's my favorite game, and then he's like, yeah, like, or he would like send a comment, be like, way to go, that's awesome, sweet.
Way to go, that's awesome.
Maybe it wasn't specifically like that, but
yeah, it's kind of funny how you can do something like radio host or something, and you gain like this small amount of like local fame or whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's people like that, you know what I mean? Like, I tell people, you know, they're like, oh, you know, I tell people, what were you doing? I was doing a podcast or whatever, and then they're like, oh, we were interviewing. I'm like, oh, you know, this guy, like, oh, man, you're so cool, you got to talk to this guy or whatever. I'm like, he's a person, like.
I mean, I guess I literally just did that to you, but,
Yeah, well, it's because it's a person that you know what
recognize,
I mean?
yeah.
So, like, But like the more that I do podcasts and the more people I talk to, especially in bands, like you just realize that they're just people.
Yeah.
Everybody's just a person. They just want to talk about people things. Like
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So it is interesting.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, when you first started the podcast, it was, like, neat. I never thought that was, like, a thing, I don't know, that you were interested in or anything like that. And, yeah, and then you just, I don't know how many episodes you've done now, but, like, the amount of different bands that you've talked to, it's like, geez.
76 of Groove Talk and 23 of this one.
Really? 23 of this one?
Yeah.
Damn.
Or 24. Or 25. I'm not sure. I haven't done one in a while, so...
Yeah.
I've kind of been focusing on Groove Talk for a little bit.
That makes sense.
That's
probably an easier one to plan, in a sense.
It's a little easier to plan. It's a little harder to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of... This one's easy because I can just invite a friend over and we can just, like, talk.
Yeah.
You know? So, that's cool. But it's also just kind of weird. I don't know why I feel weird about asking my friends to come over and just talk on a podcast. Seems like such a weird thing, you know what I mean?
I guess. I mean,
but
yeah.
It would be the same if I was like, hey, you want to go to the bar and have a drink?
Yeah.
Basically what we're doing, except at my house with microphones. So.
And I was doing great until you told me that they were recording. So
You haven't. I mean, you're doing great still.
Nice. That's what I love.
Is it?
It's just constant feedback.
Constant feedback.
As long as it's positive.
Positive affirmations.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. No negative though.
Is that what you need in your life?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Are you fragile?
A little bit. Yeah. I'm glad someone finally pointed that out.
Are you really?
Maybe. I don't know. Like, possibly. I know it helped when we were on the road trip. Being like, if I was like, oh God, I was like, just either like I was just be down or something like that, and Danica would just be like, no, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're driving great. You're driving in that straight line real well.
You're doing real good at driving.
You haven't drifted in a while. Good job.
Nice.
Actually, I was super fucking stoked. I didn't there's rumble strips on the sides of the highways. Not everywhere, obviously, but like in Alberta and Saskatchewan and some places in the States. Mm-hmm. I did not hit a rumble strip until, like, other than, like, obviously when there's construction, you have to, because they're, like, driving the shoulder. So you're driving on the rumble strip, which sucks. I did not drift into a rumble strip until, I think it was, like, North Dakota. Nice. And I was super fucking proud. And Danica's like, you're an idiot.
That's a dumb thing to be proud of.
That's why do you even notice a thing like that? I'm like, because I'm driving and there's nothing else to notice. Yeah. Except for, all the places where I'm just like, man, if I would have just like looked to the left or right, I would have seen so many cool views, but I was just like, I'm like, I missed out on so much.
Yeah, Danica's enjoing
She's just like, look at all this shit. And I'm like, yeah, it looks alright, I guess. Like, that's a pretty sweet road, I guess. Yeah. There's no shoulders, I guess. That's weird, but it's Ontario. I guess.
Is it?
Yeah, weird. They have like no shoulders, which is very strange. It's like they maybe have like 6 inches and then it's gravel. So, yeah. But you've heard it here first, people. Driving in Ontario is not that bad in the summer. In the summer, let me preface that with the summer. And on a Wednesday morning where there's no traffic.
Driving anywhere isn't that bad in the summertime.
No.
Driving through the mountains isn't bad in the summertime.
No.
Unless it's like raining.
That sucks.
Or really windy.
But even when we left Thunder Bay and we're driving through northern Ontario, or like, I guess mid-Ontario, because Ontario still goes a bit further north from there. We were driving through rain and everything like that, and like, again, it's just such a wide open space, which is like, I will say there is no other view like that in that sense, where it's just like trees and like super dense trees. I wanted to tell you this, but I didn't want you to get upset with me. Northern Ontario is Jurassic Park, not BC.
I didn't want you to get upset with me.
I just had to lay that down. And like New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, they're all way more Jurassic Park than the island.
I don't know about that.
It's tough because, like, obviously the island is more tropical.
Yeah.
Or like subtropical.
They got those ferns, yo.
That's true. Those ferns were pretty fucking cool.
Jurassic Park ferns.
And those trees were also like fucking massive too.
Yeah, man. You go to Vancouver, you go to Stanley Park, and you see trees that are literally more wide around than you are tall.
Yeah.
Like, that's how wide. Like that's the width of their tree. You can lay down, and you would not be as wide as they are.
Yeah, true.
It's crazy.
True. So there, I mean, like from the highway, obviously we couldn't see the thickness of these trees, but I'm assuming they were pretty thick.
Some thick trees.
Some thick ass trees, man. Booty's so round on trees. No, it was great though. Like driving through all that was amazing, and I never want to do it again.
That's fair. That's a lot of driving.
Yeah. Was a lot of cool stuff though, and that, but I made a list of all the towns I drove through. I know how much people on podcasts or how much people listening to podcasts like hearing lists. That's one of the things I did of the research before coming onto this podcast.
Is it?
No. I was like, I don't know what to say. I'll just make a list of all the towns we drove through. And then I couldn't remember like a quarter, or probably like 3/4 of them. So it wasn't a long list.
So your plan was to come on the podcast, and just start listing off towns.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a question to preface it. You know, be like, "Hey, what towns did you drive through?" And I was like, "Boy, do I got you covered! Look at this list."
I don't know if I would ever ask that
No,
question.
No, don't ask that question. It's a boring question.
It's a pretty boring question.
Yeah. Let me start it off. First one was Chestermere.
Wow.
That was probably a big surprise to a lot of people, so.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It's the only town you can go through to get out of Calgary.
Yeah.
Hollands. There's Hollands everywhere. Was it you I told or someone else?
What's a Holland?
A town. The name of a town. There's like Holland, Saskatchewan, Holland, Manitoba, Holland, Ontario, Holland, Nova Scotia, and then there was a Holland, Minnesota.
Interesting. And then there's the country.
And then and the one in Manitoba actually had a windmill.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are they trying to accomplish?
I have not a clue. Just like people who came from Holland.
We're just like, we like it.
We love it. We love this patch of grass here in the middle of nowhere, Manitoba.
It looks like Holland.
We're gonna put a windmill.
I mean, the same thing probably happened with London, Ontario.
Probably happened with like literally every city in the east.
Probably, you're right. They probably like Charlottesville. That seems like it's pretty English.
Yeah.
English sounding town. I could see that being in England.
There's the St. John everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The St. John.
St. John's pretty. Guy. Yeah, exactly. That's any kind of saint town.
What would you name a town if you had to name a town?
If I had to name a town?
Or got to name a town?
Oh man, you know that's like something that I've never thought of before, because I never thought I'd have the opportunity until now.
We probably still
won't.
Yeah, it's not like I'm giving you the opportunity to name a town.
How do you create a town nowadays? I don't think you could just create a town.
Yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure you just decide to live in a spot, and then a bunch of other people start to live in that spot as well, and then it becomes more and more. I think it just happens naturally. So like, you know, you're like, okay, I'm gonna live here, and then somebody's like, I'm gonna like live also here, and they're like, yeah, okay. The more people come and be like, hey, maybe I'll make like a store here. It'd be good if we had a store near here.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen nowadays. Like, there's no.
It might.
Maybe. Like, there's no people just like moving to a patch of grass somewhere.
Look at Hearn, Saskatchewan. Population 6.
Yeah, but that used to be like a trading post.
Oh.
Yeah, the Pigeon House.
Yeah.
That's like an old general store.
Oh.
Yeah. And a curling rink for some reason.
I didn't know
in 1906.
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
I was just like, okay, never mind.
It's weird how things like come and go like that. Because every house that there was like part of the old town, but apparently there used to be so much more. Which
Maybe
is so
a tornado
weird.
came through.
Possibly.
Fucked it all up.
There was a train station? Yeah. right? What?
Oh God.
Like Tillsonburg, Ontario, town of 16,000, which is like
It's a pretty big town.
pretty big town.
Yeah.
But it used to be way bigger because it used to be where they would grow all the tobacco in Ontario.
Oh.
And so there are some houses there that are just huge.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like their own heliports and stuff because there's the airport there was actually built by old tobacco farm owners that they would fly in workers from wherever and use this airport that they built themselves just to fly in more people to work these fields.
Mm-hmm.
Just nuts.
That's pretty crazy.
Because now they don't grow tobacco.
No.
Grow ginseng.
Well, like what a flip! Like
Yeah.
you grow something that kills people to ginseng, which is like it's pretty healthy for
Pretty
you.
healthy, but it apparently takes 5 years to grow.
I didn't know that.
Nah, someone can fact check me on that. You have fact checkers, right?
No, definitely not.
Weird.
Are you just like bullshitting or?
No, this is. I mean, I'm going based off of what Danica's grandparents told me. So I mean,
They seem like they would know. Old people
Yeah.
usually know things.
oh yeah. Your granddad's got a memory like just like a whip. He's
Nice.
good. Yeah, he plays video games.
Nice.
We were playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's pretty sweet.
That seems like a good old person game. It's
Yeah.
pretty simple. Like there's not much going on.
Now with the new ones, they're all they're all combat based instead of like climbing based.
I feel like all video games are going towards that combat-based Dark Souls model.
Dark Souls-esque.
Yeah.
Here's your block. Here's your attack. Here's your dodge.
Yeah. Now
Here's
fight this super
here's a
hard
different
enemy.
skin. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but he's
Yeah.
great. He just get to a point. He's like, he's pretty good with the controller and everything like that. But then obviously, like, there's times where he's just like, I just help. I'm like, yeah, for sure. This is great.
I got you.
I gotcha.
He's like, I need one of these. Just always around.
Yeah, basically. He's like, oh, this is great. He's like, I usually get my son to do this, but now you're here. Like, awesome. I'm 100% down.
Yeah. I remember when our mother tried to play a console with 2 joysticks for the first time.
Probably either like Xbox or Xbox 360, maybe.
It's probably Xbox, but she just like couldn't get through her head.
Yeah.
What it's like pretty simple, you know. The right joystick controls your head,
Yeah.
and the left joystick controls your body.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like just
I was thinking of this thing, and I was like, I think I tried going back from a game where you're using like dual joysticks to a game like to the Super Nintendo and stuff like that. And what I remember myself being so good at these games, like as a kid and everything like that, absolute trash now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because there's like when you're moving with the left stick and you're looking around with the right stick, you're technically like controlling your movement with the right stick too in some games.
Yeah.
Because where you look is where you move, like
Yeah.
especially in like a first person game, right?
Yeah, the left stick is mostly just forward and backwards unless you can sidestep.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's a third person game where you've got the full 360 control on the left, and you kind of just like
using more of the left control and the right
change
is
the
just
camera
changing
with
the camera.
Yeah, so and I was like, and some of those games when you use the right stick will change the direction in which you're moving. So it's like if you're just holding forward and you change your camera angle, your character starts to move with that. And I think that it's something like it's very intuitive for, you know, someone just coming into kind of grasp that. But yeah, like going from just that 2D control to the 3D control would just be so weird. And even going back was just as weird. Because I'm like, my movements aren't as accurate because I think I would use the right stick to kind of... It would be like, here's your macro movement on the left stick, and then here's your micro movement on the right stick kind of deal.
Yeah.
So, whereas going back to it, you don't have that micro anymore. It's just all macro.
Yeah. I think that it's all like, it seems like a lot of games in general are kind of shooting for that nostalgia thing. They're trying to like kind of take advantage of people's fond memories towards games.
Oh, yeah.
And you go back and you play them and you're like, oh, yeah, this is an old game. We have better now. We did better. Why am I playing this?
Oh, yeah.
Like we just said with World of Warcraft. Like,
yeah.
I think that's exactly what it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I just, like, from, obviously, more my personal opinion or anything like that, I couldn't see myself spending more than a few hours on that and then being like, well, that was neat.
Yeah, this is exactly how I remember it.
Going back to the regular games now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and you see it nowadays, like with all the games that are coming out, like they have these 8-bit, these 16-bit, these 32-bits that are, I don't even know if 32-bit's a thing actually. Scratch that one.
Pretty sure 32-bit's a thing.
I think
32-bit and 64-bit.
Well, I thought it just jumped up to 64 in video games. Or
yeah, in video games maybe, but on like computers, it's 32-bit.
There's a 32-bit operating and a 64-bit operating. Fair. They'll rain.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have these 16-bit graphics, but then they'll have like this whole world fleshed out in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Stardew Valley. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. It's basically a Harvest Moon clone, but you can do so much more. And whereas like if I was to go back and play the Super Nintendo Harvest Moon, I'd be like, this is so limited. I can farm, and that's about it. Just explore and stuff like that. But so they're taking these things that like people love and people know and are familiar with, and then they're just kind of expanding upon it, which is, I guess, could be said for anything in life too. So
well, I mean, it's the same with like movies and stuff. I think it's just because it's so expensive to make video games and or movies nowadays that you want to almost be guaranteed a hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because or else you just wasted millions and millions of dollars on a flop, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, like when you think of it all as a business, like that makes sense, right? Like you're not gonna try and do this brand new IP and then have it flop and be like, well, there goes 5 years of my life that just went for nothing. Cool.
Yeah.
So taking something that is loved and that is old and then just like rehashing it in some different way, it's a much safer bet. So.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Chester's outside because it's like raining.
I know.
I'm assuming he would find his way home.
I mean, he should be home soon.
You guys talk about him like he's like a child and not a cat. Where's our son? It's raining. He should be inside now from playing outside. Well, he'll be home soon, I'm sure. Just give him a little call.
Honestly, I go out there sometimes and I'm just like, Chester! And he just comes running. So, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyways, is there any kind of final thoughts you want to throw out there?
I don't know. We've been all over the place, so it's like...
Yeah, I know.
Be nice to your parents. Something else that's witty. Not that being nice to your parents was particularly witty.
It wasn't particularly witty.
No, I thought it would get a good reaction. It didn't. It didn't scratch that one. All right, let's redo this final thoughts.
Okay, go.
Oh, shit. Have a good night.
Nice. If you liked this episode of the podcast, why not leave a review? You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. For up-to-date information on the podcast, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can find us at Froggy Style Productions. That's Frog, the letter E, Style Productions. For more ways to support the show, visit fsproductions.ca.